Welcome guys to the Canon Christmas Photography Workshop in partnership with Ted's Cameras here in Melbourne CBD. You guys get to watch the replay and learn how Jamie and myself photographed this exact photo. I hope you enjoy this workshop replay. So when we're looking at lighting, where do I place my light for starters? Does anyone like backlight? Depends what it is. So what I'm going to do is just focus on this shot that we have right now, this bowl of cherries. Quite a simple shot. Okay, so if we move the light to the side, we'll go like direct side light potentially. Let's see if I adjust the settings there. And what if I bring the light all the way here, what would this lighting be called if it's coming from this angle? Front lighting, okay. What do we think?
More moody.
More moody. So if we go with front lighting, side, and slightly back, which one was the favorite? If I was to go right at the back, you can see the dark and moody really come out here. Now, if you wanted to go with that, you could fix that by putting a bounce card on the opposite side. Who here has used a bounce card before? This is a secret weapon, and it's really expensive. It's $5. All right, watch what happens if I place this right here. Watch what's just going to happen to my photo. Well, the beauty about a bounce card is it softens, it lifts up the shadows. So it kind of is coming from two places, but you're not getting double shadows. No. If I had a second light source, which is what I have done in the past, where I'd put a second light source bouncing light from this side to lighten up the shadows, that's when you're going to get two shadows. Unless you really balance it well enough. You can get away with that. And the beauty of this is you can move it close, and if it's too strong, you can move it back. So you have a bit of control. So you can see how originally we didn't have an amazing photo because it was way too dark, but with a bounce card, it's pretty good, all right? And it gives us depth. This is a SK400, means 400 watts of light. So 400 watts compared to a speed light, you're looking around 70 to 100 watts. That's when you start to get into a bit of trouble when you need more output of your light, but you're just like, why can't I achieve that brightness? And then you're upping the ISO, or you're adjusting the f-stop, or your shutter speed. So if we turn off this light, which is our artificial light, this is our key light source. This is what I'm relying on. If I take a photo, see how it's dark? The reason for that is my shutter speed. If I adjust my shutter speed to say 1/40, I'm trying to brighten my photo here, right? The problem with that is when we shoot cafes or restaurants or we're shooting at home, you're gonna have natural daylight, you're gonna have, your ambient lighting. When we're using flash, we wanna cut out all other light source and have this as our key. The beauty about speed lights or artificial light strobes is this is our key light source, and we choose the feeling that we're trying to, evoke in this photo. So with this, back at 1/200, I've turned it back on. No, I haven't. So you can see it's dark. With this on. So you understand my lighting, you know why I've got it in this position because of the shadow. You know that I've got this big softbox because I want big soft lighting. You know my settings, 1/200, making this the key source of light. My f-stop, I've got it at 7.1, so you can see that bowl in the background. Slightly blurred, right? So my lens choice. Who can identify what lens I've used for this shot? Don't read it. I'm using the 100mm macro because it really hones in to the food. And if I had a different lens, I could show you the difference, but I think because you all have growing cameras, you're gonna see a bit of difference when you're changing the focal length. So in terms of lighting and camera settings, I think that's a wrap for explaining it, right? Does anyone have any questions?
I haven't done much food photography, but maybe you're going to talk about this later, but the choice of the cloth.
Props, background selection's always really important. It depends on what the look and feel you're trying to achieve. Like today we're going for a nice, bright and airy Christmas feeling. In this case, I want the colors and the food to be the hero of the shot. So we've gone for more neutral focused props and tones to let the food really pop and sing. But it's not to say that that doesn't change depending on the requirements from the client or whatever. So there's lots of different ways to look at it. But today, bright and airy, beautiful. Let the food do the talking and tell that Christmas story that we're going to try and tell today.
So the beauty about being tethered is it allows you to build a photo from start to finish without having to really rely on the screen of your camera. We're shooting live tethered. So then any changes that Jamie makes, he can, move, and then we can take a shot, see what it looks like with my actual lighting source, not the ambient lighting, my key source of light being the artificial light, and then adjust as we need. And that's the beauty about the artificial light, guys. It's once you understand that where do I want my shadow to fall is where I'm going to place my light, it becomes really easy in terms of, all right, I just need to know technically how to operate it.
So what I'm trying to do is tell a bit of a story, like I want it to feel like we're in amongst a bigger scene, a bigger Christmas table here. So I like to build whatever it is that I'm shooting on set for the most part. So you can tweak these photos for a long time, right? Right now, I'm just trying to, our Pavlova is obviously our hero. So I'm just working to we're going for a center composition today, and I'm just going to have a few little elements of interest that sort of take you through the frame and then lead you off to imagining there could be something more going on the table. And as we go, we'll take some shots and we'll recompose and we'll jiggle some things around.
So you can see how Jamie's he's placed his food, his main hero in the center frame to begin, and then all these other secondary elements are just to complement the story. Mm-hmm. How'd you go whipping up the cream? Is it all?
I managed to whip some cream. We're good.
Beautiful. All right, that's looking pretty happy. I could go a bit brighter, but I'm just going to throw this in for now. Let's brighten up those shadows a touch. Maybe too much, go around there. Take a photo. And it's looking pretty good. I think we're ready for that whipped cream.
Sweet, let's do it. All right, as I mentioned, I like to build on the set. So I don't always do it, but I mean, if you're going to take this, if I was to build this on another plate, for instance, and then try and transfer it onto this plate, quite problematic. So you want to grab a shot for us and we'll have a look?
Yep.
So I've just put some cream on. I like to, when I work with a photographer, we work step by step, layer by layer. We just start building the shot up and talking about things as we go and saying, is there, do I like this? Do I not like that? Should we change this? Just working collaboratively together to build a beautiful shot.
And did you guys notice that Jamie did put quite a bit of whipped cream? It wasn't just I'll just put a touch. It was like he's being quite generous with it, because I think with food, it needs to feel generous, but there's also a fine balance of I feel sick looking at that compared to something that's giving us textures and layers. Looks perfect to me, to be honest.
Cool. All right, I'm going to build up the next layer. So as mentioned, I'm going to decorate it with some cherries, and you could use strawberries, mangoes, like whatever, the sky's the limit. But here today we're using cherries, and I'm just going to slowly place them around and try and be mindful of little brown bits that could be off-putting. So now I'm just going to build up another layer. So I'm just adding more, this is a real styling thing, more texture, more flavor cues, more fun, more delicious. So this is going to be on my Christmas table this year, I reckon.
So that's, again, you need to adjust the power and see how you go with the bounce card. That almost might make you question what type of chocolate do you use. Maybe go for a lighter brown rather than a dark or a white. Yep. Yep, white could work if someone who likes white chocolate.
Have a look at that.
It's looking really nice.
Starting to tell a bit of a
Someone's
yummy
hungry.
story, isn't it?
Salivating.
Yeah. All right, there's one more thing I'm going to do. You talked about there being too much red. We're starting to soften that off now. I'm going to add a little bit of icing sugar all over our cherries just to soften the whole thing and just to give it a nice little bit of a snowy Christmas feeling.
And there's no going back after this.
There is.
You're not going to be removing that.
I've done crazy.
You said there is, Jamie. What would you do, mate?
Heat gun.
Heat gun. True, because it kind of melts.
Get a fan.
This
Or
will
a
take
fan.
some of the shine off too, probably.
Yes, exactly. So that's another way of diffusing glossy
Yeah,
surfaces.
let's have a look at that.
Wow.
Wow, that's interesting, isn't it?
So all of a sudden it's not so in your face red. It's definitely still a hero color, which was the intention of the whole shot. We still want to see some texture and some of Jacob's lovely highlights on the cherries, which to me just shows, you know, vibrance and freshness. I think it looks really lovely. So for me, I'm going to call that pretty much a finished shot. I'm really happy with how that's sitting. You couldn't achieve the look and feel like this if you didn't have the right camera, the right lighting, the right knowledge, you know, and just a little bit of know-how to pull it all together, you know. So if Jacob turned his light off and someone shot this on their iPhone or something, it's not going to look the same at all, you know. So again, it's about having a little bit of knowledge so you guys can take this home. And, you know, I feel like, you know, you could all achieve something very similar. This is all store-bought stuff. It's a store-bought Pav, store-bought cream, you know, it's cherries straight out of the box. Like, why couldn't you achieve this at home? You could go make something like this for your portfolio with your cameras at home, and you can even use natural light if you didn't have a flash, no problem.
All right, who wants to see it with no modifier?
Ooh, me. Pew pew. Looks good though. I like it.
All right. So as you can see, the shadow is quite crisp, which tells us it's a sunny day, blue sky, compared to something that's a bit more diffused. All right. By taking off the modifier, no modifier, remember this is meant to be an overcast day, sky is completely full of clouds, and that's okay. But if the brief was make it look like a summer Christmas, that's what I'd be doing. Who wants to be the first one up to have a go? Well, that is a wrap for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you got something out of it and you would like more, please follow the Venue Photographer Instagram page. There's a lot more content coming out regarding food photography, restaurants, cafes, etc. If you want food styling, check out Jamie's work. He's incredible at what he does, and you won't be disappointed. P.S. Thank you, Canon, for the collaboration. It was super fun. I hope to work together again soon. All right, we'll see you all in the next one.